Here is a question that will change the way you see the world forever. What if one single man controlled every single drop of oil in the most powerful country on earth? Not the government, not the military, not the president. One single man. At his peak, he was worth $400 billion. In today's money, more than Elon Musk, more than Jeff Bezos, more than Bill Gates. Combined, he owned 90% of all the oil in America. He controlled the fuel that powered every factory, every train, every lamp in the United States. And he built this empire, starting from absolutely nothing. His name was John D. Rockefeller. And this is the story of how one man became so powerful that the government of the United States had to pass a special law just to stop him. To understand John D. Rockefeller, you have to understand where he came from. He was born in 1839 in a small farmhouse in Richford, New York. His father was a con man. Literally, William Avery Rockefeller traveled the country, selling fake cancer cures to desperate people. He was dishonest, unreliable, and frequently absent. His mother was the opposite, deeply religious, hardworking, strict. From his mother, John learned discipline. From his father, he learned one brutal lesson. In this world, nobody is going to save you. You save yourself. At 16 years old, John D. Rockefeller got his first job as an assistant bookkeeper in Cleveland, Ohio. He was paid 50 cents a day. But from that very first day, he did something extraordinary. He wrote down every single penny he earned and every single penny he spent. He kept a small ledger book. He called it Ledger A, and he tracked every cent for the rest of his life. By the time he was 23 years old, he had saved enough money to start his first business, a small trading company in Cleveland. He was making good money, but good money was not enough for John D. Rockefeller. He had seen something that would change everything. Oil. In 1859, oil was discovered in Pennsylvania, and America went absolutely crazy. Everyone was rushing to Pennsylvania to drill for oil. Men were getting rich overnight and losing everything the next day. The oil business was completely chaotic. Prices went up and down wildly. Nobody knew what they were doing. John D. Rockefeller looked at this chaos, and he saw something nobody else saw. He did not want to drill for oil. Drilling was risky. You might find oil. You might find nothing. But refining oil, that was the real business. Someone had to take the crude oil and turn it into usable kerosene. Someone had to transport it. Someone had to sell it. That someone would be Rockefeller. In 1863, he built his first oil refinery in Cleveland. And then he did something that nobody in the history of business had ever done before. He started making secret deals with the railroad companies. He told the railroads, "I will give you guaranteed massive volume of oil to transport every single day. In return, you give me secret lower prices than everyone else." The railroads agreed. Now Rockefeller could refine and transport oil cheaper than any competitor on earth. He used those savings to lower his prices even further. His competitors couldn't survive. One by one, he bought them out or drove them out of business completely. In 1870, he founded Standard Oil, and the real conquest began. Standard Oil was not just a company. It was a machine, built for one purpose: total domination. Rockefeller's strategy was simple and absolutely ruthless. He would approach a competitor and make them an offer. Either sell your company to me now at a fair price, or I will destroy you completely. I will lower my prices below what you can survive. I will cut off your supply lines. I will make it impossible for you to operate. And when you are bankrupt, I will buy your company for almost nothing. Most competitors sold. Those who refused were destroyed exactly as promised. By 1880, Standard Oil controlled 90% of all oil refining in America. Think about what that means. Every lamp in every home, every factory running on oil, every train burning kerosene, all of it controlled by one man. Rockefeller built a network of pipelines that stretched across the entire country. He created a secret organization called the South Improvement Company to coordinate secret deals with railroads. He had spies inside his competitors' businesses, reporting back to him. He controlled the price of oil, the way a king controls his kingdom. By 1890, John D. Rockefeller was the richest man in the history of the United States, and possibly the most hated. The American people were furious. Newspapers were publishing investigations into Standard Oil's secret deals and ruthless tactics. A journalist named Ida Tarbell spent years investigating Rockefeller. Her father's oil business had been destroyed by Standard Oil. She wrote a series of devastating articles, exposing every secret deal, every corrupt arrangement, every competitor that had been crushed. The American public was outraged. In 1890, the United States government passed the Sherman Antitrust Act, a law specifically designed to stop companies like Standard Oil from controlling entire industries. But Rockefeller found ways around it. For years, he continued to expand. Finally, in 1911, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that Standard Oil must be broken up. It was divided into 34 separate companies. The world celebrated. Rockefeller had finally been stopped, or so they thought. Because here is what nobody realized at the time. Rockefeller owned shares in all 34 new companies. When Standard Oil was broken up, the value of those 34 companies combined was far greater than Standard Oil alone had been. The man who had been defeated by the United States government actually became even richer as a result of his defeat. In the final decades of his life, John D. Rockefeller did something that shocked the entire world. He gave almost everything away. He donated over $500 million. During his lifetime, he founded the University of Chicago. He created the Rockefeller Foundation, which funded medical research worldwide. His donations helped develop the cure for yellow fever and funded early research into treatments for diseases that still affect millions today. He lived until he was 97 years old, dying in 1937. But the Rockefeller family did not disappear. His son John D. Rockefeller Jr. continued building the family legacy. He funded the construction of Rockefeller Center in New York City. He donated the land for the United Nations headquarters. He restored colonial Williamsburg and created national parks that millions of Americans enjoy today. 5 generations later, the Rockefeller family remains one of the most powerful and influential families in American history. Their fortune has been divided across hundreds of trusts and foundations. The family today is estimated to be worth between $8 and $11 billion collectively, but their true influence cannot be measured in dollars. The Rockefeller name is on universities, hospitals, research centers, and institutions across the entire world. A boy who started with 50 cents a day in a bookkeeping job in Cleveland built an empire that shaped the entire modern world. John D. Rockefeller once said, "I always try to turn every disaster into an opportunity." From a con man's son, with nothing but a ledger book and an iron will, to the richest human being in the history of the United States. He was ruthless, he was brilliant, he was controversial, but one thing cannot be denied. No single person in history has ever controlled so much of any one industry as John D. Rockefeller controlled oil. Now you know the real story. If this video changed the way you see money and power, subscribe, because next time we go even deeper.